Tanner told me we're going to have class tonight before I come up here, so she can help me control my tongue. Last time I went home, she called. She said you done pretty good. Well, I can help you keep that motion. She called and said, "What we talking about this week?" I said, "We talked about time." She said, "Okay, we don't need class this month." They were busy. She worked at the company until she left there. She said, "No, I got enough of this place." That's why I'm so damn dumb. You teach in school, you see what kind of teachers we got. We had them a long time ago.
Oh, thanks.
Set your phone on.
Okay, thank you. And for the audience, I appreciate your patience. Council, I would entertain a motion to adjourn the closed session and reconvene in open session.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so we're now in open session. I would entertain a motion to certify the closed session by affirming that while in closed session, there was no formal action taken, and that only public business matters lawfully exempted from opening meeting requirements were discussed, and only public business matters identified in the motions convening the closed session were heard, discussed, or considered. I would entertain a motion to certify this.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call, Anna?
Fagan-Spoon.
Yes.
Hardy.
Yes.
Honeycutt.
Yes.
Lester.
Yes.
Moody.
Yes.
Moss.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
And Taylor.
Yes.
Thank you, council. The council will take a 5-minute break. I apologize, but give us a 5-minute break and we will reconvene. Thank you.
Whereabouts?
I don't even know the answer.
I'm sure. Y'all like it when we go down? So y'all do that?
That's right. That's where you need to be.
Didn't they turn that their old Kmart into Target? Yes. Okay. Is that already open? Oh, yeah. Second version. Okay. You sure?
Mm-hmm. No, Lord. You can go to the bathroom again.
I'm ready for it.
I'm ready to get home. Yes. I'm ready to get home.
My mouth is dry. I don't take my
Yeah, that'll make it go.
Have you got a call about anything else, sir? How many? It's Joseph.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, we have, yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Just ask. Oh, this one. I thought it was me.
You do eat before you come here. Oh, wow. Mr. Healthy Eater.
Easy stuff to snack on the
Exactly.
get home and
Too late now, yeah. I get it.
it's just the easy way to snack on the
Where's that? Because I don't know that I would make it.
yeah, it's
Yeah. Yeah. You see your list?
how many of them is still going 4, 8 people?
I'd like to call our South Hill Town Council regular meeting to order, please. Shall we pray? Our most gracious Heavenly Father, as we assemble here tonight, Let us truly be mindful of the many blessings that we have, dear Lord. And dear Lord, those families that were heartbroken today in Louisville, Kentucky, be with them. Lay your healing hands upon them, dear Lord. For we know that you know all and do all and take care of us all. As we go forward tonight and into the future, dear Lord, lead us, guide us, and direct us as you would have us to do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Roll call, Anna.
Lily Fagan-Spoon.
Present.
Ashley Harvey. Here. Gavin Honeycutt.
Present.
Dolores Lester.
Here.
Mike Moody.
Here.
Chuck Moss.
Here.
Michael Smith.
Here.
And Joseph Taylor.
Here.
Okay, thank you, Anna. Council, in your packet was the agenda as listed, those that are consent and those that are to be approved. Do I have a motion for approval as is?
I make a motion that we approve the regular agenda and the consent agenda as presented.
Mr. Mayor, we have a few additions.
Okay, I'm sorry. Item for approval, I'm sorry.
Yeah, with
Hold
amendments, I'm
that.
sorry.
Under items for approval, we have addition C, which would be town manager hiring update. And on item B2, under D, appropriation of funds for cemetery. Okay, thank
So
you,
I would
Hannah.
make that motion to approve the regular agenda and the consent agenda with the amendments.
The regular agenda as amended.
As amended, yes, sir. Ma'am, I'm sorry. God knows.
Thank you.
Okay. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Tonight, council, you have in your packet a letter of resolution and thanks and appreciation. I invited Mr. Callis here tonight, but due to conflicting scheduling, he was not able to attend. But I would like to read this out to you, council. Dated resolution of thanks and appreciation. Whereas Mr. Alan Kimball, Kim Callis, has devoted almost 23 years to the town of South Hill, Virginia, and its residents, serving as the Director of Finance and Parks for 7 years and as Town Manager for almost 16. And whereas Mr. Callis' accomplishments have been numerous, including growth of the town's fund balance, reduced expenses, and additional services, automation of processes, revitalization of the downtown area, and completion of infrastructure improvement projects, all for the betterment of the town. And whereas Mr. Callis helped bring in several large revenue generating events, including the Softball World Series, the American Legion Baseball World Series, and Bike in Virginia. And whereas Mr. Callis has served faithfully on many organizations and committees, including the Southside Planning District Commission, the South Hill Community Development Authority, the South Hill Chamber of Commerce, the Lake Country Development Corporation, Roanoke River Trails, Rails to Trails, the South Hill Revitalization Committee, the South Hill Market Square Committee, and the Virginia Association of Planning District Commissions. And whereas Mr. Callis navigated the town through the COVID-19 pandemic and helped reduce utility rates for citizens, and whereas the town, thanks to the leadership and dedication of Mr. Callis, stands ready to take advantage of opportunities and meet current and future challenges. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of South Hill, Virginia extends gracious thanks and appreciation to Mr. Alan Kimball, Kim Callis, for his many years of productive hard work and service and his numerous efforts that contribute to the betterment of the town of South Hill, Virginia. Adopted this 10th day, April 2023, by the Council of the town of South Hill, Virginia. I ask for a motion and a second for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, this will be signed by the mayor and by the town clerk and given to him appropriately. Okay, thank you. Okay. Citizens to address council. I remind you, comments are limited to 3 minutes. I would ask the individual to come to the mic and state your name. The first on it is Mr. Alfonso Jiggets.
He's not here.
Okay, all right. The next on the agenda, Mr. Floyd Edmonds.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, member of council. I'm Floyd Edmonds. I'm here tonight on behalf of the Mecklenburg County Council Association just to bring you up to speed on our second annual Shagging for a Cause First of all, I'd like to thank the town for being a sponsor and you guys in town for allowing us to use the exchange for this much needed thing to raise money for not only citizens in this area, but Mecklenburg County as well. The second annual Shagging for a Cause, we netted $44,167.
Good.
We've, in the last 2 years, we've done over $75,000. We'd like to thank you all.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Floyd, quick question. I know it's very, very soon, but have you even thought about a date for next year yet where we can
Fourth,
get it on the
last
calendar?
Saturday in March. I've already spoken to
Last Saturday in March.
Last Saturday in March. And
Great job.
we're gonna make a few changes, change up some bands and that kind of stuff, but move up to the next level.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you, Floyd.
In order of request, Vernon Oakley.
Good evening. I am Vernon Oakley Jr. Before we start tonight's civic lesson, I would like to thank our first responders. We have one of the finest police departments you will find anywhere in the state of Virginia. Probably the finest rescue squad, the finest fire department you will find in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Our medical staff, doctors, nurses, and staff at the hospital attending to people as they first arrive in the emergency room is first class. We owe them our heartfelt gratitude and appreciation. And I want to say thank you. I forgot our sheriff's department. Bobby will not appreciate that, I'm sure, when he says. As I said, I think that all of us sometimes forget our civic duties as citizens, as elected officials, and we tend to do things that kind of get us off whack. People say they're called to public service, yet because of petty grievances, prejudices, whatever it may be, once they take that office, they seem to forget we the people. We the people elect you. We the people support you. When we the people can believe in you. When we the people don't believe in you, then the Commonwealth of Virginia does provide a way for us to exercise a civic duty and responsibility. Section 24.2-233 of the Code of Virginia of 1950 as amended has to do with the removal of elected and certain other local officials. It sets forth some of the things that are looked at. It sets forth the procedure to go by. The following statutes have to do with all carrying out of those particular duties. I've made a copy. I will leave one with Anna. Any of you who might be interested in getting it, it's pretty interesting reading. I would recommend it, certainly to our elected officials. I do appreciate the opportunity to appear before you. Next month we will continue with our civic lessons. I would like to leave you with Forrest Gump's most famous quote, one I do dearly love. Stupid is as stupid does. Let's don't do stupid so we the people don't have to look to find out who stupid is. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will now go by the order of the sign-up sheet. Mr. Wade Crowder, you'll come up to the mic, sir, and state your name.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. My name is Wade Crowder. I'm going to do positive tonight. This is all new experience for me. And what I'm thankful for, the only thing I can think, what I was thankful for is the old town manager's gone. So we got a new start with the new town manager. I see went to the funeral home and got these things put on the back of the seat. Moved me back one seat. I was the only one sitting on the front, but still four, but I can't sit on the front row no more. I think that's kind of, want to move me over the back door, but it ain't gonna happen yet.
All right, South Hill started as a town in 1889. It incorporated in 1909. I didn't know all this stuff. Other people tell me because I was hung up on one thing. I got a one-track mind. Good place to be from. That's what somebody told me. It don't take long to get from one side of town to the other if you live here, because you know the little shortcuts. We got a good fire department, good rescue squad. We got a good part-time police force. I get tickets from them, but I ain't objecting to them. They ain't no $5, I can stand that. We have good weather. We get rain, we get sunshine. We don't get all these hurricanes and floods and all that stuff. So that's a good thing. We got good weather. Me trying to read is hard to stay in the world. The citizens of South Hill, they are out to help you most of the time. Now, most of them will help you. Now, all we got to do is get South Hill to help a little bit. And that way we'll have that book. The town of South Hill needs to buy as much as they can local. I see they buy arts and then nitpicking stuff, but when it comes to a big item, I see that they go to town for it. When I need a big item when I was in construction work, I ordered from somebody in town, and then they ordered it and then sold it to me. So that's about all I got to say. I'm just cutting it short because trying to say positive things is hard for me to do. So I see we had some employees suspended, which needed to be. All right, I'm going to let the rest of it go for tonight.
Okay. Next in order, Vivian Paplano. You'll come up to the mic and state your name, please.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, I'm the third one here tonight coming to talk about positive stuff.
And your name, please?
Vivian Pompliano.
All right, thank you.
I'm the owner of Pump Boys Motors, so I like to just talk a little about a few things that we've been doing recently. We finally finished the sandblasting on the building, and we are so excited. It looks fabulous. If y'all haven't had a chance to come out and look at it, we would invite you to do that. It just looks spectacular. I drove down it the other day coming from Wilson's toward our building down Danville Street, and I just couldn't believe what an amazing difference it made to the downtown area. How it just looks so open and professional, and it just wowed me. So I was going to bring a picture tonight, but I said no, they need to drive by and see it themselves. So I invite y'all to do that. It's a nice impact. I know Alan has been coming up here and talking about our facility being a tourist attraction, and the Virginia Tourist Department has come and met with us, and we're slated to do a bunch of good things there. But I want to share, in the past 2 months, 60 days, we've hosted a number of car events at our building. Each event has had several hundred people in attendance. They couldn't be more grateful for the opportunity to come in and get to know South Hill. We've given them lists of where to eat, where to stay in hotels, things to shop, things to do here. So it was a great win-win, and we were excited and happy to share the good fortune with some of our neighboring businesses. So that was all new economic money coming into the city, so that was really good. The future looks bright. We have a lot more things coming up that we're excited about that we're going to keep on for next week, or next month. At Pump Boys, I know this is unusual, but we have evening gowns to give away to the juniors and high school seniors. They're fabulous, they're free, we just kind of want to help and give back, so we have about a dozen of them, and we're just inviting everyone, so whoever's watching tonight or listening in tonight, or if you know someone, please send them by. They're beautiful, and we want to be able to make an impact and just give something back to kind of help moms and dads keep the costs down and get the seniors out there to have a good time. That's it. The rest of it's not important.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alan Thompson. State your name, please. Come to the microphone.
Alan Thompson, resident of South Hill. I might repeat some of the stuff that Vivian just said, but, and I'm gonna ask the same question that I asked last time, and I know you're not gonna answer it. But nobody has been by there to see what's going on up there. That is going to be a heck of a jewel downtown to bring people in. She mentioned about the car shows. People are coming in there to see the museum part and Tony's car collection. And they're ecstatic about it. They just, people from Richmond came down. They absolutely could not believe that there was a place even in the state of Virginia like this. And there's a lot of people that have classic cars, antique cars, muscle cars. And if you don't think there's a big interest in it, there's like 15 programs on television for people who are storing cars, and people watch those channels. And if people watch them, it wouldn't be on TV. But she mentioned the fact that all these people have gone to restaurants here. They've shopped here when they come. And I don't know why and can't believe that y'all are not embracing this instead of stonewalling. And that's why I feel that's going on, stonewalling. And I don't know what the problem is. I kind of do know what the problem is. It's rumors and people spreading stuff on Facebook and social media. And if y'all believe everything on social media, you're idiots. Everybody's an idiot to believe all that stuff. 90% of it is not true, especially when you know where it comes from. So I'm going to end also with a quote from Forrest Gump. That's all I got to say about this.
Stephen Stanley.
Neither, Mr. Mayor.
If you'll come to the microphone, please.
I don't need to address council. Steve Stanley, but I don't need to address council tonight.
Oh.
Thank you for the floor.
Okay,
Thank
all right, thank you. Chad Solomon.
That's me.
All right, you'll come up to the microphone, please, and state your name.
All right, y'all. Tonight I'm Chad Solomon from Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. I'm here to protest and complain to y'all against Pop Boys Motors. Vivian Pompliano, Tony Pompliano sitting on this side here are the ones that I'm referring to. I have a case that I filed with the State Attorney General's office. All of that was just said about social media and all of that is backing up the real evidence of what the lawyers have found, the Jason White group, the Frank Jones group of North Carolina, and the State Attorney General. Also, the DMV has acquired enough evidence to support their cases. They're all working together because there has been countless run-ins with these people. They tell you these little cute stories. They got these pretty little cars. Yeah, come on, we got cars and coffee and all this stuff. Looks great. But guess what? Looks can be deceiving. And there's an old saying also, watch the company you keep. That's what my late great mother told me. And I should have listened to her. I was scammed. I was ripped off for almost $30,000 for a blue Mustang that I wanted to upgrade. It was a special project of mine. My engine failed. And without going into a long, detailed account of what happened, which you can find on the Better Business Bureau. You can also find it with the Assistant State Attorney General, David Fox, out of North Carolina. He can tell you all that you need to know. But these lawyers would not have taken on these cases, 21 so far on record, not counting the ones that's out there that haven't been recorded. It's not like these people came together and said, yeah, let's go pick on this mechanic shop. We don't really like them. No, these were individual cases with the same MO. They lure you in, they smile in your face, they tell you these cute little stories, you get a laugh, and then you get, by the end of the day, you're having a mechanic's lien against your car where they jack up the price and you can't pay for it. That's what's going on. I have records of the receipts that I paid Pop Boys Motors, the money that I lost. I have a copy here. If you would like to take it, I'll be gladly gladly give you this copy here that I have in my folder. But other than that, that's all I have to say.
Okay. All right.
So
Thank you.
would you like the copy?
No, sir, you can, anything you want to leave, you can leave on the desk at the
Okay.
corner. That's entirely up to you, sir.
And if you have any questions right now, I mean, I'll be glad to answer them for you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. The next on the agenda is Tony Papato. You'll come up to the mic, please, state your name.
Good evening. Anthony Papagliano, Vivian's husband and associated with Papagliano Motors. Know Mr. Solomon pretty well, as you might suspect. What he forgot to tell you in his sort of story of sorts is that he sold us his car in lieu of paying for his repairs. And he has filed complaints with everybody you can think of, and to my knowledge, no one, including the ambulance chasing attorney involved, has decided to take up on that case. Okay, the Mustang that he's concerned about is sitting in our showroom, and we've not been able to sell it in the 2+ years we've owned it. So, for whatever reason, I purposely chose to go last because, frankly, I feel like when this town of South Hill goes around saying that you're friendly to business, well, that's a lie. You may not be against business, but you're certainly not welcome to business. I can stand attest to that as coming into this town as an outsider. That's something that's never going to change. I'm not from here. I don't plan on being from here, but I chose to live and do business here, which says a lot more than somebody who may have spent their whole life here. As far as the situation for my business, look, I've been in business a long time, and I consider myself to be a good businessman. I've been an executive at 2 Fortune 50 telecom companies. I've operated and owned my own business for 20 years, and do you ruffle feathers along the way? Without question. But I have a high degree of fairness, and I will operate like that. And once I realize that I'm being taken advantage of, then I sort of fight back. I don't want to be somebody's punching bag. At some point, you punch back, right? And here's how the story goes. The story always goes, they slap you 6 times, and you slap them back on the 7th exchange. And then everybody goes around saying, well, Tony slapped that guy. Well, what did he do? Nothing. What do you mean? The other 6 slaps didn't count? So Mr. Solomon is upset. I get it. I'd be upset if I was him, to be frankly. We may have made some mistakes along the way. One of them may have been too trustworthy on somebody who commits to doing the work. When he left out a few things that are really important. One is we put an engine in his car. He blew it up. Then he told me some story about why it blew up. He lied to his insurance company as to what the damage occurred. We then gave a new estimate to replace the engine with a much stronger, more powerful engine. We did that work, and then he came to me and says he wanted to cancel the work after I ordered all the parts. It's too late. Too late. It's not like a pair of shoes that I just give to somebody else. There's thousands and thousands of dollars. Signed estimates. All kinds of commitments to pay. And they ultimately sold us the car in lieu of paying for the repairs. I get it. We don't like it. We don't want somebody's car. We don't want anybody's car. We're in the business of fixing cars. I do this business because I'm in love with cars.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Council, okay. Next on the agenda is public hearings.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Council, we have a request tonight by Jamie Barker to rezone the lot owned by Carter Hill between 901 West Danville Street and 604 Locust Street from R216 to C1 commercial. I'd like to open the public forum.
You change from one thing to the other for what? I mean, what is one and what is the other?
The R216, it was done for multifamily to put apartments on, and Jamie decided to buy the property after it was rezoned the first time a few months ago. So now he wants to buy the property and put it back to C1 so he can join the hills.
C1 is commercial. Oh, that's good.
All right, close the public hearing.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, this came before council, before Planning Commission last week, and Planning Commission voted unanimously to approve the rezoning case 2023-1. And at this time, I would make a motion that the council does same.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, I'll second this. We have a request by the Lodging Solutions Emergency Services to rezone the property owned by Mark Sharon at 609 Gracier Street from R216 to IG. I'd like to open the hearing. Comment?
What are the IG and all of them? I like to know.
The R216 is the multifamily designation.
I'm gonna change it what?
You know, IG will be industrial general. And basically, they're gonna be adding a parking lot to increase their traffic as far as the trucks and place to store the trucks and trailers.
I'm getting smaller.
Question. So, make me familiar with that property, I'm sorry.
Behind the Antlers Lodge, the Moose Lodge.
Oh, okay, all right, okay, thank you.
If you notice the trucks and trailers.
Yes, sir, I do, yes, sir.
They need more parking.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I think we have someone here to speak that, y'all wanna hear anything?
My name is Ryan Porter. I'm a representative for Industrial Tent Systems and Lodging Solutions from Houston. We're the ones that bought the property there on Grazier Street at 854 Grazier Street. The 20 acres we're looking at is it joins to that same property. We do hurricane responses. I know you said you live here because we don't have hurricanes, but we do. We respond to hurricanes and refugee crisis. We provide lodging, catering, laundry, showers, bathrooms, all those things for emergency workers, linemen, state police, National Guard, things of that nature. That's what the trucks are. They're actually sleepers and refrigerated trucks and things like that. We're just going to put more assets on the property.
Mr. Fortner came before Planning Commission last Monday night and stated exactly what he just said, and this would basically be the company's East Coast base operations, and that the property would be used for storage and for vehicles only.
Okay. Fantastic.
And Planning Commission passed it also unanimously.
Council have any questions for me?
Yes, sir.
I have one question.
Sure.
So the property right now, when I look on Google Maps, as you said, I think it's a bunch of like home type things. You really can't see it from the street. I wouldn't say this new property. Will you be able to see all those type of things from the street, or will it's far enough back that you won't?
I don't know the answer to that question, honestly. There is a one home, you're pulling in the driveway, there's one home on the left-hand side. I'm not sure how far the property comes off of that property line. I don't know how much of it you would be able to see from the street. I honestly just can't answer that. It's possible though.
I was just worried about a bunch of things sitting there, I guess, from the street.
We're pretty particular about our image, so if something was going to be able to be seen from the street, it would be one of our nicely logoed with our fresh logos on it, things like that. It wouldn't. We're not here to try and make anything. We're here to make things better, not make them worse.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I'll close the public hearing.
Council?
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the RE 2023-2 request by Lodging Solutions Emergency Services to rezone the property owned by Mark Sharon at 609 Gracier Street from R216 to IG.
Second.
Any discussion, council? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
May I ask who
Thank
made
you.
a second? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Ma'am?
Who seconded?
I did.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Vice. You okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Council, under administrative reports, this is the consent agenda. Move to approve. There'll be no separate discussion. This is in regards to the minutes and the monthly financial report. I have a motion for approval.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay, council, under the items for approval. I would like to draw your attention to agenda item A. I will read to you the Fair Housing Resolution. The Department of Housing and Community Development, DHCD, and the Commonwealth of Virginia require, as a component of Community Development Block Grant CDBG projects, that grantees take affirmative actions to further fair housing. In 2015, Council adopted a fair housing resolution endorsing the concept of fair housing, including specific rights included in the law. To stay consistent with current law, an updated resolution needs to be readopted by the Council. I would like a motion.
To readopt?
Correct.
So move.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. On the proposed budget and rates, staff has completed a series of meetings with department heads and town council to prepare the town budget and rates for fiscal year 2023 through 2024. The requested budget was distributed to council on March the 13th for review for the budget work sessions on March 29th, April 5th, and April 6th. We recommend holding the public hearing on May 8th, which would be advertised in the April 26th edition of the South Hill Enterprise. Adoption of the budget and appropriation of funds would be scheduled for June 12th, 2023. I would ask the council for a recommended motion to advertise for a public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 2023-2024 budget, tax rates, and water and sewer rates at 7:00 p.m. on May 8th, 2023 at the South Hill Town Hall.
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right. Finance report.
I have 4 requests for appropriations this evening. Due to unanticipated costs, additional appropriations are needed to cover salary and benefits, professional services, and repairs in the following line items for the final months of fiscal year 22-23. The first department is Town Manager Services. A request for $52,196. A request for non-departmental for implementation of GASB 87 for the audit, the legal expenses, and the total for non-departmental $36,100. And then an additional appropriation for the fire department for repairs and maintenance to replace a heat pump that had to be replaced for $22,071. So the total is $110,367.
I'm sorry. What was that dollar amount again? I'm sorry. The total.
A total $110,367.
Thank you.
Ms. Cottrell, did you say 4?
I have a total of 4 appropriations.
Gotcha. Okay.
4 agenda items.
I got you.
For appropriation.
I said I was only 3. Okay.
Mr. Mayor.
This is just one.
I move to appropriate $110,367 from the fund balance of the general fund to cover the items noted above.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay. The second item is an appropriation of funds for a police vehicle. In fiscal year 21-22, the town budgeted $45,000 for the purchase of a police vehicle. Due to supply chain issues, the vehicle was not delivered prior to the close of the fiscal year. As the appropriation technically lapsed with the close of the fiscal year, the funds for the vehicle need to be appropriated in the fiscal year 22-23 budget. So I would ask that you appropriate the funds for the stated purpose.
Mr. Mayor, I move to appropriate $45,000 from the fund balance of the general fund to be utilized for the stated purpose.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Okay. Item 3. The town has received quotes for an ADA compliant handicap ramp for the baseball fields. The ramp was designed by an outside engineer to comply with current regulations. The town would like to have this project completed and in place prior to the World Series scheduled for later this summer. The capital budget currently for Parks and Grounds only has $26,000 remaining for this fiscal year. The lowest quote that we've received is $72,000. This leaves a funding gap of $46,000. So it asks that you appropriate additional capital funds in the amount of $46,000 from the fund balance for this project.
Question. I have a question too. I don't know if you want to nail
I'd
a
like
discussion.
a motion,
Yeah,
a
and
second,
then
and
discussion.
discussion, yes. I have a motion.
Aye.
You make the motion?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, to appropriate,
Yes, sir.
Okay.
$26,000.
do I have a second?
I'll second it for the purpose of discussion.
Okay. Discussion, council?
Is this for the upper baseball fields or is this in the girls' park? Where is
This is
this?
for the baseball fields.
Do you know, Ms. Cottrell, where? I mean, there's a, you know, I'm very familiar with that park. At the entrance gate, so to speak, there's a path, a paved, asphalted path that goes to the bottom, and then the upper two fields on the same level.
I will have to defer to Mr. Dean to answer those specific
Gotcha.
questions.
Thank you.
This handicap ramp would go from where they cook now, from the upper fields. It has like 3 legs to it, down to the lower fields up there, because people were complaining that they had to go all the way out to the parking lot and come back.
And come back.
What's it made of? What's the,
Concrete.
oh,
Concrete.
understood.
CJ,
Council.
correct me if I'm wrong, this came up a couple of years ago, if I'm not mistaken, and we addressed it. And at that time, I thought it was recommended to leave where you can actually drive down from the parking lot down to the lower field, that we decided not to do anything at that time because of the cost. So is it coming up now simply because the World Series people are requiring it, or has something come up with the ADA compliancy?
This is something that baseball had requested.
Is it mandatory? Is it mandatory?
It makes it more convenient for the people who are there, the older people who are watching their kids, and everything is what we have heard.
Question. So, you know, that kind of, to Councilman Moody's point, you said ADA compliant. So are we not compliant now with the ADA or currently with what we have?
It would just be wide enough for a handicap ramp in that space, along with the slope and where you have to rest after so many feet and all that. So we took into account all of that.
But what I'm asking you is, are we out of compliance now with what we have?
We're probably not out of compliance, but it is inconvenient.
Inconvenient. All right, I do remember this was a topic of discussion the year before I ran for council, and it was a monetary issue, if I remember correctly. So, you know, again, if it's against, we need to be regulated to be in regulation with the ADA compliance. I get it, but listening to Moody, and again, I'm not that familiar. I've been over there and done the national anthem many times, but never really paid attention to the grounds. I would refer to somebody else with more knowledge of that.
I do have one question, and that is, did we only get one quote? Where did this quote come?
No, this was a low quote.
This was the lowest?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Councilman Taylor, do you have something? Okay.
My concern, and of course we need to be ADA compliant, that goes without saying, but for this to come up now toward the very end of our fiscal year, and it sounds like we're doing this solely because the World Series would like to have it. And I'm wondering if this would be something that we could do during the next fiscal year and see if we could work it into the budget for the end, because we surely did not budget for that amount of money this time. Ms. Cottrell, do you have anything that you could add to this as far as the $46,000? If we need it, fine, but the timing of it is just atrocious.
I don't disagree.
And I would piggyback on that, you know, again, because of our budget work sessions, and again, what we're facing as a community moving forward for the year 23-24 is astronomical in numbers. for our infrastructure. And that really concerns me for the people I represent and for the whole town. I mean, we're looking at tens of millions of dollars approximately for infrastructure improvements. So maybe we could look at it, and maybe if our numbers work, maybe we could appropriate Councilman Moody for next year. At taking a look at this, but again, I just want to make sure it's not a compliance issue.
Yeah.
I don't want the town to get in any trouble. So my thing would be if we're out of compliance, yes, we need to do it, but could we wait?
My thought process along that same line is let us look at this. We have more budget sessions coming up, and if the council so desires, we can look at this for the next fiscal year, not this fiscal year, but it's going to be totally up to the, since we have a first motion and a second, it's going to be totally up to the entire council.
And when is the World Series, Mr. Dean? When is it coming up?
I thought it was the end of June.
It's the week of July.
July, yes. It's in the next fiscal year, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's like
Yeah.
the 21st,
Mhm.
Okay.
that week.
Thank you.
Okay, Howard, we have a motion and a second, but if we vote, then there's a statute corrected who could not be revisited. Would we, as a council, would we be better to take the motion off or not?
You could make a substitute motion to table.
What about the original motion and second?
The tabling takes precedence.
Okay.
So I'd like to make a motion that we table that motion until we finish our budget work sessions. Again, and I'm looking at your direction too, and Sheila, I think would be more comfortable with that as well. So, is that proper to do it that way? Okay.
I would second that motion.
Okay, any discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
The final item is an appropriation of funds for the cemetery. The town has received quotes for trimming and removing dead wood from non-oak trees at Oakwood Cemetery. The lowest quote was $11,800. Due to safety concerns, the town would like to complete this project as soon as possible. So I would ask that you appropriate additional funds in the amount of $11,800 from the fund balance for this project.
I'd make a motion that we accept that, because again, it is a safety concern.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Question, just to be clear, for my clarity, that's coming out of the cemetery fund,
Correct.
not the general
Correct.
fund.
Yes, that is the motion, that it be taken from the
Correct.
cemetery fund balance.
Thank you so much.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Patel.
Oh, CJ, if I may, before you get started, Council, I'd like to go back to my omission. Under items for approval, there was an item C that was added to the agenda, and that was the town manager hiring update. I know from a standpoint to give an update, we are in the process of looking at job descriptions. We are also looking at potential agencies. So if you have any questions, you can direct them to me or to HR in regards to any other additional information.
Yes, sir.
Oh, good, sure. Mr. Mayor, thank you. Accordingly, I would move to direct the Human Resources Director to retain at a cost of up to $10,000 a recruiting and consulting firm, and to engage Virginia Municipal League and all other available advertisement services to advertise for and recruit a town manager candidates for town council's consideration.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you, Council. Okay, I'm sorry, CJ.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The town received sealed bids at the town hall on the 4th of April at 3 o'clock in the afternoon for the Forest Hill Drive drainage improvements. We had 3 bidders at that time. The low apparent bidder was J.A. Barker Construction Incorporated with a bid of $374,557.25. Tonight, I would ask that you would go ahead and award this contract to J.A. Barker Construction Incorporated for the base bid of $374,557.25, and authorize the town manager, his designee, to sign all necessary paperwork for this project.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
Question. Do you know when they'll start or approximate completion date?
I think the completion date is like 120 days, 90 to 120 days, so we just gotta get their bid bonds and all that stuff before they can start. So there's some processes that have to go.
One other question. So we already have appropriations in this year's budget for that, correct?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. I just wanted to make clarification. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
The second item on the agenda tonight, the town was approached by Clarence Wagner with the City of Refuge of South Hill for holding a 5K run as a fundraiser on Saturday, September 16th. They would like to use the town's approved route for the 5K run. Chief Bowen has looked at the route, has given the okay for this event on that day, and you have a tentative schedule in here that shows that they would start about 7 o'clock and they would have everything cleaned up and everything by noon. So I would ask that you would authorize them, City of Refuge of South Hill, Virginia, to hold a 5K fun run on Saturday, September 16th from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. on the approved route in the town of South Hill in coordination with the South Hill Police Department.
CJ,
Second.
Okay.
Discussion. CJ, I'm not familiar with the City of Refuge. What is that?
They're, I guess you would call it a non-denominational church that has stuff. This gentleman, they work out here on Country Lane is where he works out of.
If I'm not mistaken, Vice Mayor, I think they're located beside Paul Duffer's place, right over here beside not Team Nurse, but
AmeriCare.
AmeriCare.
Okay.
Any other discussion? I think we have, Hannah, we have a motion and a second.
Yes, ma'am. One more. Do we have any idea what the funds are used for, if it's a denomination?
Oh,
These are kids.
Not that I'm aware of. She didn't say. They didn't say what they were using
Okay, all right, okay.
All right,
No,
so we have a
thank
motion
you.
and a second. Any other discussion?
CJ, do they have to get insurance for this event and list us as additional insured?
Yes, that
Okay.
all happened.
I got
Just
you.
want to make sure the date and everything was good.
Sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Good evening.
good evening.
I have two items to address tonight. The first is a proposed recommendation to update the current non-discrimination statement and equal employment opportunity policies. So I would like to recommend council make a motion to adopt the updated policies as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Okay.
Question.
Discussion?
Yes, I'm sorry. So, Christine, all right, so non-discrimination, equal opportunity employment policy update. Are these just updates that have been handed down from local and federal
It is,
government?
yes, sir, it's consistent with current laws.
Okay.
Updates.
All right, thank you. And we periodically will do those as they're available? Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
The second item is a modification to section 6.4 of chapter 6 in our employee handbook. This is the section presented donation of personal time from our chapter 6 absences from work. This section presents some opportunities for inconsistencies, invalid purposes of what can be construed as discrimination and inequality. So we've consulted with our legal counsel, and we are recommending to council that we remove this section from the current handbook of the chapter. So I would like to recommend council make a motion to remove the current policy, section 6.4, donation of personal time, from the chapter 6, absences from work, from the town of South Hill's employee handbook.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, discussion, yeah, I have a question. Christine, how long is that, that current, that current 6.4, chapter 6, how long has that been in existence?
So the last date, of the handbook is 2020. There's not a specific date, to my knowledge.
Okay.
So this has been in place, on my arrival.
Okay.
Chris, if council removes this, will there be a replacement coming in with different wording? Do you foresee that in the near future?
I do not.
Okay.
Unless it's something that's recommended, but at this time, this is a very touchy.
Yeah.
Inconsistent.
Very, okay.
And it's something that needs to be policed
Yes,
and
ma'am.
administered.
Okay.
And we're just looking at opportunities where we don't need to be there.
Okay.
You don't anticipate recommending a replacement or a substitute?
Okay, that's fine, yeah. Okay.
Question. Christine, did something change in the law that you're aware of from 2020 to today? Or has this section been an issue for the last 3 years? Because I know we spent a lot of money to review that handbook, and I'm just curious. I know you weren't here at the time. Has something changed in the code or the laws, or?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Thank you.
I have another question. So, all right, just so I can understand it. So, it would be where, I mean, an employee can't will another employee their time.
Correct.
So, like somebody was out sick, had cancer or something, and they weren't able, okay, so they would not be, what you're saying is they would not, we would no longer be able to do that.
Correct. We're proposing that this, the complete section 6.4 be removed.
Okay. Okay.
Mr. Estes, you look like something's on your mind.
Mr. Mayor, I just think that the policy is somewhat dated.
Yes, sir.
You know, a lot of these programs were developed prior to the Family Medical Leave Act, and with that, broader insurance coverages and the like, and short-term disability policies as well. They tend to be a little bit unworkable, and it's an administrative headache, frankly. So, but it was just a policy. It's not like there was a change in law.
Right.
Right. It's just something that is just a policy, and some jurisdictions still carry these things.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Christine.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, council. Under item C are reports. This requires no action, just a motion only to accept as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
One discussion, I noticed that on the facilities.
No separate discussion. Go ahead.
No separate discussion?
No separate discussion.
Okay, I'm not sure.
As presented. Accept the reports as presented. Unless you ask to request an item be removed for discussion separately.
No, I can address it after council. Okay,
All right.
I'll address it after council.
Okay, all right, so we have a motion and a second. Anna?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right. Under the Board of Zoning Appeal, and this is a motion to recommend appointment. Richard Walker's term on the South Hill BZA expires May 12, 2023. Mr. Walker has been contacted and agreed to serve another 5-year term beginning May 13, 2023 and ending May 12, 2028. Do I have a motion for approval?
Second.
Okay. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Under the Industrial Development Authority, the IDA, motion to approve appointments. The IDA terms of James A. Butts III and Barbara Nanny will expire on May 5th, 2023. Both have been contacted with Miss Nanny declining reappointment. Jimmy Butts and Phyllis Benford have agreed to serve 4-year terms beginning May 6, 2023 and ending May 5th, 2027.
Motion to approve appointment.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Council, you were asked you were asked an inquiry. Several members' terms are set to expire on June 30th, 2023. As the Parks and Recreation Committee has not met for years, I would like council's opinion on doing away with this committee.
So moved. Make a motion that we do away with it. Is it another committee of the council?
It's more of outside people, not necessarily the council.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But
Okay.
due to the inactivity and the number of people that are coming up, just to ask to do away with the committee is a recommendation.
I would second that.
Okay, do I have a motion second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Other business, council.
Question, and I'm not sure if this is the right time or not, but in our packets, we are including the completed dilapidated properties report. And I know that's updated from time to time, but just for simplistic reasons, do we need to continue to have the completed report?
I don't know. I mean, as reference point, I mean, again, I can go either way, but I guess from a standpoint, if the councilman was asked about an update or whatever, they would be able to refer to that, but
No
it would just
problem.
be a thought.